former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olisa Agbakoba, has urged the Nigerian government to remove the Arabic language on the Nigerian Naira notes. According to the Punch, Agbakoba wondered why Arabic inscription is on the Naira when Nigeria is not an Islamic state. The senior advocate of Nigeria asked the government to replace it with the country's indigenous languages. He said, I don't think Arabic should be on the Naira. We are not an Arabic country. I don't know why that sign should be there. I asked similar questions when I was a member of the National Judicial Council, when the question about the understanding of the Sharia law came up, and I opposed the then CGN, Aloma Mukhtar, that I did not see how it should be a requirement for judges of Islamic origin to understand Arabic. I'm a Roman Catholic. Does it mean that a Catholic judge must speak Latin? I think these are not the sort of things that we need to get rid of for a united independence nation. We are not an Arabic nation. I mean, I guess more research has to be done into this. I mean, obviously it's not, but then Nigeria's just too diverse at this point. I mean, who would you blame for that? I mean, the amalgamation, let's not go there. But still, like, Nigeria is it's just too diverse. Like, you can't pick one without making one less of, in a way. Well, by replacing it with other languages, again, you're gonna go with the major languages, but then what of the ethnic, the minority languages, and then don't you feel left out because they're also Nigerian as well? I mean, again, I feel like if maybe you do more research into see if the fact that it's written in Arabic, does that make our identity seem as a more Islamic state? Because a lot of foreigners that outside of Africa, if some people actually do think that Nigeria is sort of a mostly Islamic country, and sometimes you just have to correct them and be like, actually, yes, but then it's actually really diverse as well. They're also Christians, and they're also other religions, and also the traditional religions as well. But yes, to be honest, with where I've gone and with most people, most non Africans, they do mostly assume that Nigeria is an Islamic state, which of course maybe things like this could influence such assumption. You don't know. Well, speaking further, Agbakoba said, although the country's electoral processes are not perfect, marked improvements have been recorded in series of recent elections conducted by INEC. It's a long journey to strengthen the democratic process. Many things are required. The first thing will be to strengthen the constitution. In fairness, since the last 20 years, the process has improved, particularly under Atahiru Jega and Mahmoud Yakubu, but I still need to see a substantial amendment to the electoral process. Well, I feel like he's going off the topic, because it started with him saying that he should remove Arabic language from the Naira notes, and now he's talking about INEC and how effective it has been and how it has improved over the years. But to be honest, right now, I feel like, okay, fine, that could be Nigeria's problem, but right now we really need to focus on how 2023 is going to go, because this government has proven to us that we only matter when the votes come, and then when they get into power, they're just deaf. But I don't feel like this is sort of a news that would gain, let's say, traction in terms of people trying to understand why this as well. I'm not saying it's an irrelevant, topic. We should ask questions like this. If it's not an Islamic state, why should the notes be the narrow notes and the numbers be in an Arabic language? Well, somebody here says this is not the problem of Nigeria. When our Christian leader is supposed to do it, they ignore it. This can't solve our problems. It will surely cause more problems. Let's face our political problem, so when the time comes, it is going to be corrected. True. Somebody says, is this the reason for hardship in Nigeria or what? It doesn't make people does it not make people spend the money? I don't think that's true. I mean, to be honest, it's not really something that an average Nigerian will see and be like, oh, let's put a lot of energy into this matter. There is so much happening with, the undermining of the citizens of the country and insecurity being a very, very big issue. And then I feel like things like this could cause a divide when honestly we need to focus on the right things, and also, focus on the NSAS process and make sure that people that are meant to face the consequences face the consequences. I don't know how, but I feel like we should not lose focus on that, because to be honest, the language, I don't think it means anything. I mean, I don't know what argument you can use to justify why Arabic should be on the narrow note, but on the other hand, I don't think it's the main issue that we should be focused on. Well, another person brings another angle to this argument, saying English language should be removed too because Nigeria is not an English country. And then obviously, we have replies. I mean, this will probably. I feel like this is a good sort of counter argument, not counter argument, but like an argument that you could relate to the actual topic, because the fact is English language should be English is Nigeria is not an English country, so why is the official language English? But of course, the argument is we're very, very diverse, and obviously, the argument of complaining as to why other minorities are not, being minority languages are not being represented. But yeah, I think that's another aspect by bringing up English language when it's not an English country. To be honest, I mean, fine, with the country's history of being colonized, that should be history, but again, this is another argument that you could add into it. Somebody says, when you read some comments, you immediately realize why Nigeria is where it is today. So much ignorance and lack of wisdom. The supposed people of peace are suddenly turning the whole thing to war. Many didn't even bother to read the article. The man is only saying indigenous languages like Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo should be used instead of a foreign language that is not recognized here. It's never about religion or whatsoever. I mean, that is true, but in terms of the relevance at this time to Nigerians, I feel like because Nigerians are making such comments, you can actually sort of see where the mind of Nigerian is at, because from this topic, a Nigerian reacting to it and putting their comments, they're obviously bringing up other issues that has been swept under the rugs, and they're so frustrated that they start bringing in other topics in. And I feel like maybe that is why maybe there's some comments will be not coherent with the ideas going through, because the fact is it's not as relevant to the actual problems and the frustrations of a current Nigerian right now. And so in any way that a Nigerian could subconsciously, because of the frustration, they could actually sort of direct their comments to somewhere else. But again, most of the comments here don't really not that they don't agree with the man, but they don't feel like it's relevant to them when you talk about a language and the narrow notes, of course. But I don't think there's any other argument here that sort of justifies whether he's right or he's wrong, and I feel like that's just what it is. Well, Paul, I think in the comment section below, do you believe that the Nigerian government should remove Arabic language from the narrow notes? Also, do not forget to like and subscribe. We would